All right, shalom, shalom. All right, shalom, shalom. All right, we in there. All right, shalom. Before I get started with this live lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring. The house of David is pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers. So I'm back at you with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit. And this critical race theory exposes America for what it truly is, okay? And these Edomites are pissed about it, okay? But it also proves that this place, America, is that pit according to the scriptures. And I want to get into that, Lord willing, this lesson be edifying, okay? And I got this video, but before I play it, I just wanted to briefly touch on this article here. This is from the usnews.com. This came out June 1st, 2021. It says the title it reads, it says, "What is critical race theory and why are people so upset about it?" And the main people that are upset are these damn devils, okay, these Edomites, all right, because America's racist history, along with this system that it was established upon, okay, is being put out on Front Street, okay? These Edomites are being made bare and they hate it, you see? But reading on, it says most Americans are not familiar with the term critical race theory, but that hasn't stopped some from getting upset about attempts to reckon with the sprawling repercussions of slavery. Okay, so let's jump down. All right, it says 100 years ago on May 31st and June 1st of 1921, white rioters ransacked and set ablaze a wealthy black neighborhood in northern Tulsa, Oklahoma, a place known as Black Wall Street. It says where black people were business owners, doctors, lawyers, and where they were building and accumulating wealth at a time when that was unheard of in much of America. The massacre, which left hundreds of black people dead and roughly 10,000 homeless in its immediate aftermath, has hunted families for generations, not only by stunting their family trees, but also stripping them of future opportunities that such a solid foundation would have brought. You see, and see these devils, they can't get away from their horrible past. You see, and it's all coming back to hunt them. Okay, but jumping down, get straight to the point. Okay, it says, so what is critical race theory anyway? It says critical race theory traces its origins to a framework of legal scholarship that gained momentum in the 1980s by challenging conventional thinking about race-based discrimination, which for decades assumed that discrimination on the basis of race could be solved by expanding constitutional rights and then allowing individuals who were discriminated against to seek legal remedies. However, some legal scholars pointed out that such solutions, though well-intentioned, weren't effective because they argue racism is a persuasive and baked into the foundation of the U.S. legal system and society as a whole. And this is the truth. You know, going back to that pit. Okay, this whole setup in America was basically, you know, set up to trap Jake, to keep Jake oppressed and at the bottom, you know, and all this stuff is coming to light. And that's why these Edomites, you know, they're pissed. You know, they're actually trying to they're actually fighting to try to stop this from being taught in schools. Okay, because as we get closer to the end, all of Esau's dirty laundry, All that shameful spewing, as it talks about in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, all that shameful spewing is coming out on his glory. Okay? So the world is seeing the devil for who he is. Okay? The scripture say that this man, he can't hide himself. You know? So let's make that point. I'm gonna play this clip and then grab some scriptures and wrap it up. You know, didn't want this lesson to be too long. All right, but all of Esau's past history is being aired out. So let's play this clip.
The whole purpose of critical race theory is to provide Americans with a way to understand the legacy of racism, even though those stories sometimes hurt.
It's anti-American training that vilifies white people and demands they apologize.
The best learning for students about social studies and about our democracy and our country is the learning where students can really grapple with the issues and really come to a deeper understanding of how our past informs our present.
All of this revisionist, woke curriculum, you are not going to do this to our children.
Teachers across the country are caught in the middle of the latest flashpoint in America's culture war, critical race theory. So what exactly is it? And why is there a push to ban it in schools?
Critical race theory is a body of ideas and a set of approaches to understanding the history and the present of American society that looks at the ways in which racial unfairness have been woven into the fabric of our institutions.
In other words, critical race theory, or CRT for short, is a legal academic framework centered on the idea that racism is systemic. It first started to coalesce in the 1970s when Black, Hispanic, and Asian legal scholars were researching the persistence of inequality despite the landmark legal victories of the civil rights era.
The legal scholars undertook a set of analyses and investigations that were aimed at trying to make sense of the puzzling persistence of racism in our legal system, in our political system, in our economy.
CRT has been studied in fields like sociology, economics, and political science. It's been used to examine issues such as housing and educational segregation, unconscious bias, and criminal justice reform.
Contrary to what often critics portray as sort of judging people intrinsically as being racist or not, or holding people responsible for, slavery in the past, it is actually to open up a conversation of how we all inherit and live in a society sort of beyond our choosing. Right? We didn't choose where we were born or what racial group we were part of, and yet we have this common history. How do we understand that history? What does it mean for us? Those are the sorts of questions that critical race theorists were trying to grapple with.
The racial reckoning spurred by the police killing of George Floyd brought the decades-old framework back into the spotlight as some schools sought to implement reforms that better address race in classrooms.
I think the thing that critical race theory would add to that conversation is that we not sort of confine that horrific example to Derek Chauvin, but to think about how, there were other law enforcement officers present, including officers of color, who stood idly by. And so that pushes us to think about, this phenomenon as not simply one of, racism by whites against blacks, right? I mean, it makes us think more critically, more engaged, more seriously around, why do these practices happen?
The push against CRT gained steam under former President Trump, when he directed federal agencies to end any diversity trainings related to critical race theory. Though ultimately blocked on First Amendment grounds and rescinded by President Biden, the fight over CRT at the state level is still in full effect.
The focus on CRT is a way to latch on to a concept that very few people sort of really understand, which sounds kind of scary perhaps to someone not, trained in what it means, and latch onto that as a kind of football in this sort of ongoing fight over, the future of this country with regard to racism.
As of mid-June 2021, 21 states have introduced bills attempting to restrict the teaching of critical race theory and or impose limits on how race is discussed inside the classroom. And those limits are often vague.
And instructors, educators, especially at the K through 12 level, will just not go there. Will not run the risk of upsetting parents or, being misunderstood or drawing the ire of, lawmakers.
In Texas, for instance, House Bill 3979 says teachers must explore current events from multiple positions without giving, quote, deference to any one perspective.
There's language in this bill, like teachers need to present a balanced perspective on current events, for instance. They have to do their due diligence to present multiple viewpoints. But what happens if they're talking about an issue in the classroom and they try to present multiple viewpoints, but the student comes home and tells their parent about the lesson that day, and the parent thinks, well, they didn't do a good enough job of presenting this viewpoint. So who decides when the teacher has done an adequate job of presenting multiple perspectives on an issue? It saddens me and disappoints me that instead of really embracing this opportunity to confront our nation's past and to tell authentic and more accurate narratives about experiences of diverse people in this country, that we're looking to sweep it under the rug. We're looking to erase it even further from our memories.
Yeah, so pretty much, all right, Esau's tired of being pointed out as being the devil. All right, and this is why these Edomites are mad, man. All right, anytime their history is brought out, all right, they lose it. But my point I want to get into is that it shows you, this proves that this place is the pit. All right, because this place was set up to press Jake on all levels. All right, the justice system, socio-economic, here it is. You had the American government, they sanctioned slavery, redlining, COINTELPRO, all right, economic discrimination against Black Americans, legal segregation, Jim Crow laws. All right, you had the Tuskegee experiment. All right, you're dealing with the prison industrial complex. All right, they have to have a certain amount of Jakes in these prisons, and they make money. Money is generated off that. You see, you had the feds, the CIA. They put crack cocaine and heroin in the ghettos and the slums. What else? Racist government policies. Black American ghettos, redlining, systematic racism, defunding. Poor school system, mass incarceration, drug proliferation, all these things, man. And the list goes on. Shows you that this place is that pit, that trap, man. Okay. Let me get this scripture real quick. All right. Let me get that one in, Zechariah 9 and real quick. Zechariah 9 and 11. I believe that's it. Okay. Yeah, this is Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 11, and it reads, it says, as for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit where is in no water. All right. And that pit represents what? This beast system, America. Okay. This is that pit. And we are those prisoners, man. You tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics. It says, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit where there is no water. All right. Meaning there is no truth, no justice. Okay. There's nobody fighting your cause. All right. This is that place. Let me get that real quick. This is, let's go in this word pit, pit, dungeon, cistern, dungeon. You see? Let me get this word real quick. Yep. There is no waters, because there is no justice for Jake in his land, man. And you got Jakes, realizing that, man. That's why all these things are being discussed now, and Esau is doing everything he can to fight against that, right? For these things to be taught in schools, because it's everything is happening right now. You got all these riots taking place. You got statues being thrown down. Okay, all of Esau's dirty laundry is being aired out. Okay, verse 12, it says, turn you to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. All right, and we are those prisoners of hope, man. Okay, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai is the power that's going to deliver us out of this situation. Okay, like the scriptures tell you that no man shall buy you, meaning no man shall redeem you out of this current situation. All right, so there is no taking matters to the Supreme Court. All right, protesting is not going to fix your situation. All right, our cause is in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, let me get this real fast. Okay, Isaiah 42 in verse 7. Let's get that real quick just to make that point. Okay, this is Isaiah, this is Isaiah 42 in verse 7, and it reads, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from prison. Okay, this is our captivity. All right, America was set up to be that pit, that prison house, man. Okay, to bring out the prisoners from prison, and to end them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. You see that? Okay, so America is literally that prison house, man. And the only way that we're going to be delivered is by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Okay, he's the one that's going to come and loose us from this captivity. You know? Let's get this real fast. All right. Isaiah 61. Okay. Isaiah 61 and 1, and it reads, it says, exaltation of the afflicted, all right, which is you tribes. Isaiah 61 and 1, and it reads, it says, the spirit of the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is upon me, because the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek, and have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, all right? And this is the message that we're pushing, okay? That salvation, all right, is coming for the captives, man, you tribes, to proclaim liberty to the captives and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, all right? Because Jake is bound in this system. There is no way out but Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, okay? There's no arming yourselves against this system, coming against this government. None of that, man. We got to wait on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, but see, this is what the majority of our people don't understand. You know, they think that protesting and trying to fight matters in this corrupt justice system is going to bring them their cause. That's not going to happen. Okay, the Lord said, "Wait ye upon me." You know. It says to proclaim liberty to the captives and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Okay. Verse 2. It says to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the day of vengeance of our power. You see, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is coming to bring vengeance. Okay. He's coming to bring vengeance for his temple. Okay. Remember, this devil, he touched the apple of the Lord's eye. Okay, which represents the tribes, you Israelites, man, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics. Okay, because right now Esau is doing everything in his power to get rid of Jake. You know, and that's why, as I was doing the previous lesson, war has been declared on Jake, man, dealing with this this juice program, this poison, this concoction. Okay, this devil ain't gonna stop until he makes sure that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans take this poison, man. All right, but the Lord is going to avenge us, man. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn. Verse 3 says, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning. Okay, our people are destroyed and destitute in this society. Okay, your life doesn't matter. You have no rights. Okay, you're regarded as nothing in this place, man. Okay, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Okay, and that's dealing with all the hell that Jake is catching here in Babylon. Okay, the oppression, being at the bottom, okay, not having any not having any money, you know, barely making it. You see? The garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, that he may be glorified. Verse 4. And that's the point. Let's get this real fast. All right. Jeremiah, you know, just dealing with the fact that this place is that pit. Jeremiah 50 and 33. You know, Jeremiah 50 and 33, and it reads, it said, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. All right. All 12 tribes are oppressed here in America, in this pit, in this system. You see, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. You see, so unto this very day, all right, our people still remain in that in this prison house, in that captivity. You know, and we're bound by this system. Okay, and this is why, going back to my point, you know, this is why these Edomites are pissed off that this whole critical race theory is being taught. Okay, because everything that from the foundation of America, all right, in this system is all coming to light, man. Okay. Verse 34 says, the Redeemer is strong. The Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause. You see? So as I was saying earlier, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is the one that's going to redeem us out of this situation. Okay? Scripture says he shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon, because he's going to destroy this place. Okay? We're at the end, man. All right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is on his way back to bring that judgment, man, and to redeem the elect of Israel. Okay, all right, to deliver us out of that prison. Okay, Isaiah 42, real quick. Isaiah 42 and 22, and it reads, it says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. Okay, this whole entire system. This is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses, man. Who else could this be talking about? Who else could this be? Who else could this apply to? Okay, it says they are all hid in prison houses, man. And this is twofold, because Jake is snared in what? These different religions, these false doctrines, you know, all these ways that are contrary to the Lord, but also in actual prison houses, because it's not a coincidence through the Spirit that Jake makes up the majority of the prison population. You know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and that's all by design. You see, the scriptures tell you in James, do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seat. You know, Jake, when he gets punished, his punishment is way more harsh than Esau, man. All right, he gets triple the time. You know, but this is all the spirit of prophecy. And they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. And that's why, you know, you got all these different political figures that are supposed to be the leaders of Jake, all right, but really they work for Esau. You know, none of these people that were raised up could deliver Jake out of this situation. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, all right, so on and so forth. Okay, they are for a prey, none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Verse 23 says, who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Verse 24, it says, who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he against we have sinned. You see? So we were given into the hands of our enemies for transgression against Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So we're serving out our punishment here in Babylon, in America, because we sinned against the Lord. It says he against whom we have sinned, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient to his law. You see? So this is what happened to us. Okay. Verse 25. And it reads, therefore he had poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and he have set it, Salaki, and he have set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it had burned him, and he laid it not to heart, because Jake, he doesn't consider, you know, Jake don't consider, especially, you know, taking heed to the scriptures, all right, of understanding our situation. Okay, the situation that we are in is all biblical, it's all spiritual, you know. But my point is that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is the one that's going to deliver us out of this pit, man, you know. So that's pretty much my point, man. You know, this critical race theory, you know, got these Edomites hot, you know, but it ain't nothing, there's nothing they can do about it, man. Let these devils continue to be exposed as the devils that they are, man. You know, in due time, they're going to pay up, man. Is the point, man, you know. But I pray this quick lesson was edifying. I just wanted to bring that out. You know, the Lord is going to deliver us out of this pit. Call halayim la Yahweh Shem Yahushai, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and double salutation to all you Akim out there laboring. Hey, shalom.